Welcome to Tuesday and welcome to your math practice, everyone. Thank you for showing up for your learning. All right, let's take a look at this assignment. The name of the assignment, you'll find it for today. 3.3, meaning it's unit 3 and this is lesson 3. Parabolas and graphing. All right, it's for you, MPM2D. And let's take a look at the skills we're going to look at. The first one is the features of parabolas, or our work on the anatomy of a parabola is going to be applicable here. So these are the types of questions you're going to find. Using this graph, determine the coordinates of the vertex of this parabola. Where is the vertex of this parabola?
I see it.
You can see? Where is it?
Right there.
Minus 4, 9.
Minus 4, 9. So you would put in here, answer type, 1 point, okay? And then you would put in minus 4, 9er. Minus 4, 9er, you'd submit answer. Yes, I'm sure. And then we unzoom. Hooray! This is an important step with Delta Math, okay? This is math made a computer game. So you want to feel like you just defeated the boss or something. Well, this isn't the boss monster of this assignment. This is just like warm up. I've asked you to do several of these types of questions because they're all testing different parts of the parabola. So this is y-intercept. Where's the y-intercept of this parabola? Yeah, 0, 5. So answer type. It's not 2 points. It's not 1 point. It's not an equation. It's 1 point. So that's the point 0, 5. Submit answer. I'm sure I want to submit that answer. Yay! So you feel good. Okay, you feel good when you see that check? Should you be angry if you see a red X?
Yeah, I sure do.
I sure get excited when I see the red X because it means I've made a mistake. And I do get a little bit annoyed with myself, but I also try and view it with a growth mindset. And I'm like, all right, Delta Math, show me what I need to know. And here I look X, where it intersects the X, Y-axis, X is 0. They're showing me the point there. And I'm like, okay, I'll remember what Y-intercept means next time. All right, so we've just gone over all of the different things, like where are the coordinates of the x-intercepts of the parabola. So here you would say answer type 2 points, and it would allow you to put in these 2 points, okay? 2 x-intercepts. There's also vertex, y-intercept, x-intercept. The roots of the parabola. Oh, that helps me remember that x-intercepts are also sometimes called roots. Okay, so anyway, those are those. Next, graphing parabolas. This we're going to need to look at together. I'm about to teach you something new so that you can do something on Delta Math. So let's take a look. Graphing parabolas, level 1. Graph the equation y equals negative x squared plus 14x minus 48 on this accompanying set of axes. Oh my goodness. You must plot 5 points, including the roots and the vertex. Oh, right, really, including the roots and the vertex? I haven't shown you how to do that yet. Oh, okay. Click to plot points. Click on points to delete them. So here's what you'll need to do to try these. You're going to need some paper, and you're going to copy down the equation. Negative x squared plus 14x minus 48. Okay? I missed the part about needing the vertex and the roots. And then you're going to build a table of values with x and x minus plus 14x minus 48. Okay, so here. So what we're going to do there is we're going to put in some values of x. So let's try x is 0. If x is 0, this would be 0, this would be 0, and this would be minus 48. Okay? If I put in x is 1, then I have negative x squared, so that's negative 1 squared, plus 14 times 1 minus 48 equals negative 1 plus 14 minus 48. So that's plus 13 minus 48 is minus 35. Okay? I still don't have anything I can plot. It looks like I'm getting closer to this area where I can plot things, though. So that's pretty good. So now let's investigate. X is equal to 3. Okay? There I would have negative x squared. So negative 3 squared. All right? Plus 14 times 3 minus 48. Bring this down for another line if you need another line. This is negative 9 plus 14 times 3. 14 times 3 is 42 plus 42 minus 48. All right? And so that's equal to, is equal to negative 15. Getting closer to what I can plot. So then I go down here, 5. X is equal to 5. Let's try x equal to 5. So let me get more space here.
Sorry, so what are you trying to find here?
Some points that I can graph. Okay. So here, this is 5, and then I can go over here, negative x squared. So that'll be negative 5 squared plus 14 times 5, because this is 14 times x, so it's 14 times 5, minus 48 is equal to negative 25 plus 14 times 5. 14 times 5 is 70, minus 48. Okay, that's equal to negative 25 plus 70. That gives me positive 45, minus 48, minus 3. Okay, there's a point I can plot. So now I go back over here and I say at x is 5, this is minus 3. All right, now let's investigate 6 and 4, see what we get. Now we're going to get some points we can plot. Okay, so 6 and 4. So I go back over here. Now I'm going to investigate x is 6. So then I have negative 6 squared is negative 36. Then I have 6 times 14, so that's plus 14 times 6. That's going to be 70, it's going to be 84. 6 times 14 is 84. So negative 36 plus 84 minus 48. And then I can do all that for mental math practice if I want. Negative 36 minus 48 would be minus 84. That's 0. That's a 0. Okay, so I found a 0. Now, I found a 0, so I'm going to put that on there, 0. I said let's investigate x is equal to 4. All right, so I can do x is equal to 4 as well. Maybe I go over here, and maybe I can do these in my head. Y is equal to negative x squared, so 4 squared. So negative 16 plus 14 times 4. 14 times 4 is 56. So I have 16, negative 16 plus 56 is negative 40. Minus 40 is positive 40. Minus 48 is negative 8. So then I have this point over here. 4 is negative 8. Okay, so that's that point down there, negative 8. And then it went up there, and then it went up here. And then I know 7 is going to peak up, and 8, and then 9 and 10. So 7, 8, 9, and 10 are points that I want to investigate as well. So let's investigate those points too. And so I have, just going to continue my table of values on another page so that you can see my work. If I let x equal 7, the negative x squared would be negative 49 plus 14 times 7. 14 times 7. So someone can look at that and tell me that that is 98. And then minus 48. So 98 minus 48 would be 50. 50 minus 49, this is equal to 1. That's equal to 1. There's our vertex there. I know that's going to be the vertex. Okay, so I go ahead and plot that. X is 7, y is 1. So I'm going to plot that one on there. Boop. And then let's find this point 8. Then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll get one more point there at 8. Let's go find it. Oh, where is it? It's over here. So I'm going to put that one on. X is 8. So if x is 8, what's y? Well, y is equal to negative x squared plus 14x minus 48. So negative 8 squared is negative 64 plus 14 times 8 minus 48 is equal to what? Okay, negative 64 plus 14 times 8. 14 times 8, well, that's 80 plus 4 times 8 is 112, right? So it's negative 64 minus 112 minus 48. Okay, negative 64. Negative 64 minus 48, well, that together is 112, right? 64 plus 48 together is 112, so that's also 0. So when x is 8, this is equal to 0.
So the whole time, are you just trying to get it to equal 0?
No, I'm just trying to find points. And then look, when I graph my 5th point, it puts a parabola through them. Oh, that's cool. And then I say, submit answer. Boop. Am I sure I want to submit this answer? Yes. Yay. So make a table of values. And here is a table of values that they made. And they have 4, and that gave them -8. And notice they just substituted in just the same way I did. And they get the y values by substituting into that equation. And here you're practicing. You can use this as mental math practice, and you can use this as calculator practice. So using a calculator, you'll notice I work a little faster on my next problem.
Why'd you start at 4?
I didn't. I started over here, and I got way negative numbers. So I was like, oh, I need to look a little further that way.
Oh,
Okay? So you're on a hunt in the beginning to find these things. Okay? So now let's take a look at another problem, and I'll do one more for you. Okay? Graph the equation y is equal. Oh, this one's a little easier. Well, because it has smaller numbers, so it's a little easier. And I'll show you how I would do this one with a calculator. Okay? So I write down my equation. Y is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 3. All right? And now I build a table of values. So here's my y, and I'm going to have different x values, and then I'm going to look at different y values. But instead of y, I'm going to substitute that in for x squared plus 2x minus 3. Okay? So let's start with x equals 0. That's a good one to start with. Here, if x is 0, then I have 0 squared is 0 plus 2 times 0 is 0 minus 3. So actually, when x is 0, you have a very easy y to find. It's just this c value over here. It's just that. Just like with a line, mx plus b, and if x is 0, then y equals b. Same thing. It's just this constant term. Now let's check x is 1. 1 is also easy to find. This would be x squared is 1 squared plus 2 times 1 minus 3. There is a 0. 1 plus 2 minus 3 is equal to 0. So there, that's another point that I can plot. Let's take a look at x is 2. Okay? So there I would have 2 squared plus 2 times 2 minus 3 is equal to, this is 4 plus 4 minus 3. So that's 4 plus 4 is 8, minus 3 is 5. All right, don't need a calculator yet. I promised I was going to use a calculator for this one, but because I have such smaller numbers, it's easier to work with than when I had a 14. Okay, if you have a 14, you may need a calculator. But I just solved these, and then I have points to plot. I've been asked to find a vertex and both zeros. So let's see if I can find where the 0 is. It was -3 there. It went up to 0, and now it's going up to 5. So it's growing faster. Let's look at some negative values of x. So let's take a look at, I don't know, -2. Okay? -2 squared. That's x as -2, so that has to go in brackets. Plus 2 times -2 minus 3 is equal to, that would be +4, because -2 squared is 4. Plus 2 times -2, that's -4. Minus 3 equals 0. Oh, minus 3 equals -3, sorry. -3. Okay, I found a point that's symmetrical around 0 and -2. Let's go ahead and plot those points first and see what we're getting. When I put in -2 for x, I had -3. When I put in 0 for x, I had -3. When I put in 1 for x, I had a 0. And when I put in 2 for x, I had 5. Okay? Now, I already know something. I see 2 points that are symmetrical here. Where is the axis of symmetry for this parabola?
No, -1.
-1, good. Yes, the symmetry is going to be around -1. So let's, I predict the vertex will be at -4. Let's test it. All right, so I go back to my table of values, and I'm going to put in x is -1, okay? And then I'm going to calculate that. Y is equal to -1 squared plus 2 times -1 minus 3, okay? And that's going to be equal to -1 squared is 1. -1 squared is 1. Plus 2 times -1 is -2 minus 3. So there I have this is equal to -4. That's what I predicted, okay? Now, here, I'm going to put that point on, and it's going to say you're done. But if I wanted to keep graphing points, I could go ahead and I could graph this 0 over there. Boop. You've reached the limit of points allowed. Okay, let's take away that point, and we'll put on this point over here. I can see the axis of symmetry, and so I can put my points in around that axis of symmetry. If I see a point up here, I can put the corresponding point over there. Now let's see if I'm right. Submit answer. Are you sure? Yes. Yay! And they use a table of values like that to produce these points. Boop, 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 boop. So that's how you graph these parabolas. You use a table of values and then plot your points. How do you generate your table of values? You substitute and solve. Okay, so that's not that tricky. The last type of problems that I have here for you that's new is graphing parabolas and state the properties. So here we have an equation y equals negative x squared minus 2x plus 3, and graph it on these axes. I have to include 5 points, including the roots and the vertex. And then using the graph, determine the vertex. Okay, so it just wants you to put in all these points, and then it's going to ask you what's the vertex. That's the only difference thing about there. So with these problems, get some practice graphing some cool parabolas and seeing what shapes they make in the xy plane. In the meantime, I'm going to do this problem that Reed set me, where he gave me 3 points, and I'm going to join those 3 points with a parabola. I've only just started. I'm going to work on that in just a moment. It should take me about 5 minutes. So that's your assignment for this afternoon, is the delta math. I also asked you to do some greatest common factoring as well. So just to practice your numbers for an upcoming thing.